How are you doing? It is hot here in Philly, so hopefully you're someplace cool and can come check out what we're going to be doing today on the live stream. So welcome to my channel. I'm Philly, and I'm coming to you from a very warm city, as a lot of our country is in this heat wave, and we are certainly immersed in it. So I'm dressing cool. That is the order of the matter. And actually, I will have to say that I'm really, taking one for the team cooking, because I'm telling you, if I didn't have a live stream, I would have definitely cooked something that did not need to be using ovens or stoves. So at least today we're just using a stove. Hubs is making a racket, fixing himself something to drink. Right. But now let me see if everything came on. So let me just do a check. There it is. Yay. All righty. There we go. Okay. So welcome to the stream. If you're not familiar with Philly, I'm a foodie and home cook in Philadelphia, and I like to share some different recipes I'm excited about. I a lot of times try new things right on live stream to hopefully make you less nervous about the different things you might be trying if you're in the kitchen. So today we are going to be doing burgers, because in summer, what do you do but burgers? But here in the city, we do not have an outside space. We're not blessed with that. So we have to be a little creative. So I don't have a grill that I can use outside or any of those things. So we will be doing these inside. We're going to be trying a chicken barbecue burger, and I'm going to be doing it a couple different ways. And then Hubs and I are going to let you know if we prefer one way, if we like them both the same, and give you some information. Now, if you've been following me for a while on Twitter or on Instagram or here on YouTube, you know that I love a poultry burger. Now, that's not to say I don't enjoy a regular old-fashioned burger. I do. But we do tend to cook a lot of chicken here, and I've made these burgers with turkey or chicken. But today we are going to be using chicken, but really turkey could be subbed for it. And what I do like, what I prefer when I'm using chicken in the burgers is I get the 94% fat-free chicken. That involves some chicken breasts and chicken thighs, and it helps you create a juicier chicken burger. If you prefer to use chicken breast only, that is totally up to you, but it will yield a drier result with a different texture. So for burgers, I do really very much recommend going for the 94%. But we're going to do the burger later because we have some things to prep. So Edith, welcome. Nice to see you. Do you feel moved in? Edith did a big move up to Connecticut, and I've been following her with that move, and I've loved your pictures in your new residence. And how are you doing? Because moving can be exhausting. So Edith, how are you doing? And DS, it's nice to see you. I know, I was just, well, first of all, thank you, and Ruby, for saying you missed me. It has felt weird. I told him just before I began, I said, it's been a hot minute since I've done a food live stream. The last one I did was a takeout try or buy, which is where, for those of you who don't know, Hubs and I order some food in from a place in the city, and we give you our review of the food takeout style. So we're just trying to kind of show a lot of people do go out, but sometimes you just want to bring it in and let you know what our experience is. But it has felt like a long time. So I feel a little rusty, if I'm being totally honest, but I've missed you guys too. So it's really good. Please tell Ruby I said hello. And Barbara, welcome. It's so good to have you on. For any of you who are watching and are wondering what's going on here in the chat, who I'm talking to, I'm not talking to my other personalities. I'm actually talking to people that are visiting and putting in down the chat below. If you're really familiar with live streams, you're like, Phil, I know this already. But that's what we do. Now, some people like to come and watch a live stream and they just want to sit in the background and take it all in. That's totally fine. Thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoy. But if you do want to say hi, please just down below give us a hello. You don't have to keep chatting if that's not your jam, but we do like to have some fun here. So it's really wonderful. And DS, or Andy DS says hello.
Hello, DS.
And Edith says, moving was very tiresome. Moved with U-Haul to save on cost, but I feel happy here in Connecticut. Well, that's what matters. And my mom said, not our last move, this was not to move to the city, but when we moved to our second house in the suburbs, we had gotten our first house, And then we had found another house and sold the first house. It was a little bigger. Maybe it was for my first house. I'm sorry, I'm digressing. You all know I digress on this. Maybe it was my first house actually. But my mom said to us, there's no deadline. You unpack, you get unpacked when you get unpacked. And I appreciated that because sometimes when you move, you're like, oh my gosh. And some of us need some unpacking just so that we feel a little calmer. But at the end of the day, it gets done when it gets done. But let's get started. I want to tell you about a couple of things that I've done in advance of the stream. One thing I did, because we happen to be out of pickles, is I made some quick pickles. So quick pickles is something that anyone can make with just some cucumbers. I highly recommend the Persian cucumbers, those smaller ones. They're great for pickling. You don't have to remove the skin. And all I did was, it was apple cider vinegar, water, some garlic, salt, pepper, and did I say garlic? No, dill, some fresh dill. But really, this is where you can kind of get creative. And if you look up quick pickle, you can find a lot of different recipes. So some quick pickles, they just have, you put it in the pickling liquid and just let it sit. I wanted to speed up my quick pickle because they are better the longer they sit. So I did it this afternoon, like early this afternoon. I actually heated up the vinegar and water to boiling and then poured it over all the seasonings and cut cucumbers. And then it's been hanging out in the fridge. So these are gonna go on one of our burgers. The other thing that I made ahead of time, because it's one of my favorite dry rubs, and everything is down below in the description, you can find the information, is a dry rub seasoning that I first did and I put together for some of these dry rubbed Alabama white sauce wings. I don't know if y'all remember that, but if you're not familiar with me, I love doing wings in my air fryer. And this dry rub, and the ingredients are below, makes a great rub for really anything, for wings, for chicken, for pork, anything you want to put on it. And just to let you know what's in this dry rub, brown sugar, smoked paprika, black pepper, smoked black pepper, which isn't necessary but does give you a little smokiness, kosher salt, onion and garlic powder, cumin, coriander, and ancho chili powder. So that's just one of the ones that I really like. And we're going to be using it in one of our burgers today. The other seasoning I'm going to use in my other burger that's going to be in competition is one of my favorite Penzy's spices. Penzy's is a spice company. They have all sorts of seasonings and spices. And this is their Barbecue 3000. And I think it is a fabulous all-purpose barbecue seasoning. So for any of you purists, we will not be smoking anything. When I say barbecue, I'm saying it loosely, meaning it's like you're grilling outside, and maybe you all can grill this outside. But for me and my condo, this is what we got. So I have a flat top for one of our burgers, hint, hint, and I have a grill pan for our other burger. And then we're gonna see if we prefer one. Maybe it'll be a tie, but maybe one will win out over the other. And they'll both be a little bit different, but both along the theme of the Alabama white sauce. What's an Alabama white sauce, you wonder? So it is a white barbecue sauce. That being said, it's really, in fact, I made it ahead of time so the flavors could meld. It's really this lovely concoction of mayonnaise. Let me get all my other ingredients so I don't forget any. This was a half cup mayo, quarter cup apple cider vinegar, a quarter of a lemon squeezed, half teaspoon black pepper, quarter teaspoon kosher salt, eighth teaspoon cayenne, and about a half a tablespoon of fresh horseradish. And in any event, you mix it up, and then it is great to drizzle on anything, honestly. It has like this peppery bite, and that horseradish gives it some of that nasal heat. And you can use this a little or as much as you like. But it's creamy but acidic. So it really is great for especially rich meats, but it even tastes good on chicken, and especially chicken thighs. But you don't have to have a rich pork shoulder to enjoy it. It is just really great. And what we found out after that stream was I loved mixing this in a slaw. So that's what we're going to do first. So first, let me get my slaw. I'm going to use my slaw. Not only can it be used as a side dish, but I'm going to use it on one of the burgers, as you can imagine. And let me just catch up more on the chat here. DS says, Ruby's from Connecticut. Oh, yes. So I've been spending a lot of time there. Rent is so much less but high taxes. Yes, I will say Jersey, where we used to live, is high taxes too, for sure. And DS says, wait, did you say smoked black pepper? Yes, there is. I have actually smoked salt and smoked black pepper. So let me find this all for you. It's back here because I don't use it all that often, but when I want a little flavor, and of course I'm looking now and I can't find it. I know I have it back there. Let me just take a quick peek. So one of my goals this summer, I'm a teacher, as many of you know, while I'm off, is I need to organize this very, where did that go? This very disorganized spice and sauces and everything. Maybe it's in here. Let me see. I don't see it. I know. So I think the smoked black pepper is a McCormick. And then the smoked salt is in one of those, might be McCormick too. It's got one of those graters. And again, being in the city without a grill or a smoker, it's just a nice way to kind of impart a little smokiness. So take a look for that. So that was my purpose for adding smoked black pepper there. And then, yes, yeah, absolutely. Okay, and by the way, DS, if you're still in the city, how are you guys doing with the heat? Because, oh my gosh, yesterday was brutal, today's brutal but cloudier. And we went to a baseball game on Friday night. Thought I was gonna melt. That was a double shower day. So let's get started with this slaw. So for this simple slaw, and by the way, one thing I will tell you, and those of you who know me know, please substitute what works for you. I love color. So for my slaw today, I wanted to put in some of the red cabbage because it's got such a great color. Now the problem is there's two of us. That is a lot of cabbage. So I said to Hubs, just be ready to see a lot of cabbage in future meals as I'm utilizing it. The good thing is cabbage actually, for the most part, lasts quite a bit of time if you take care of it. I a lot of times will put a paper towel in the bag that it's being stored in just to absorb any moisture. I'm also going to put in my slaw some carrots, and I'm going to julienne those. And lastly, I'm going to use a little bit of, you could use onion, and I'm going to do scallion. So that's what's going to go in my slaw, and then we're going to use this Alabama white sauce as the sauce, and it makes a lovely slaw. I do not have a mandolin, so I rely on my knife skills to get my slaw ready, so that's what I'm going to do now. And I do have a great tool that I use for this for julienne. So let me get that now. And I'm going to try a new hack that I heard about for the onions later for one of the burgers, so that it works. In any event, so let's get this. Let me put the recipe over here and get this slaw. So how are y'all staying cool and eat it? Is the heat going all the way up to Connecticut, which I bet you it is? And Edith said, oh, you beat me to the punch, Edith. It's been very hot and humid. And the humidity is what gets me the most. Yes, I agree, DS. She is, the photos from Connecticut have been gorgeous. So I'm just going to take off on this, the loose outer layers of the red cabbage. And then I'm going to give it a thorough wash and then start slicing this as thin as I can. If you have a mandolin, you absolutely could do that. I do not, and it scares me. So I'm going to stick with using my knife. Okay. There we go.
How much did that cabbage cost?
I don't know. Do you remember? It's not cabbage by measure is not very expensive.
I know. I'm just
So
saying if we have to like toss a little bit of the cabbage, I think we can.
oh no, but you know, and I don't know if you've noticed,
I don't want to
Han,
be like
but
having cabbage for the
I've
next
actually
15
been really
days.
good about trying to use up things and being more, I don't know, just like more conscious instead of going out and just getting stuff, thinking like, how can I use the ingredients that are already in my fridge?
You do a good job of that.
So I do try. I can see the little bit of tone in your voice, though. He's just worried about having cabbage every day for dinner.
Cabbage for
I
the
just-
next every day for the
He's
next
like,
2
are we
weeks.
just going to have this every day?
What are we
Okay.
having today? Cabbage. What
I
are we
know,
having today? Cabbage.
Well, you know I would never just like have cabbage. Like I would do something fancy with it. One of your favorite meals I made actually was with red cabbage. Remember this, it was like in the fall and I had gotten some, I think, smoked sausage or kielbasa.
Yeah.
And then I used the potato gnocchi and I made it kind of with the technique of making chicken paprikash, but I did it with the onions and the smoked sausage. It was excellent.
That was pierogies, wasn't it?
No, it was that I've done it with pierogies, but it was a potato gnocchi because they were ones I get at my market that I actually really like. So one thing you'll find with cabbage is that you cut this piece that seems like a pretty marginal size piece, and look what you get. I've only cut half of this, and it grows. So so it's very economical. In fact, I don't need any more cabbage than that. That is plenty of cabbage. So I'm going to put this piece and my other piece away. But look at the pretty color. Like, this is what I love. Look at that. Gorgeous. It always confounds me, though, because it's called red cabbage, and it really kind of looks purple. But, hey, I wasn't in the cabbage naming business, and they didn't ask my opinion, so it is what it is. So we have our cabbage ready, and just want to slice it as thin as you can. Use a nice sharp knife, because sharp knives actually, result in less cuts than dull knives. So that's a good tip. All right, so now I'm going to get a carrot. Whoopsie. Get that open. So with it being hot, what have you all been eating? Because like today, we are going to be making these burgers, which will be, we're using the heat, but then we have the slaw, and then we're going to make a watermelon feta salad, watermelon cucumber feta salad for the side, because really, I'm just craving like that kind of food. In fact, it was interesting. We were out last night. I haven't created the video yet, but I had won a a giveaway on Instagram. So, by the way, if you are on Instagram, be sure to find me. Oh, there it is. It's the same name on everything. Here on YouTube, it's just Philly Philly, but on Instagram and Twitter, it's Philly Philly Live because Philly Philly was taken. So, and on Instagram, there's one of our local restaurants, Radicchio. It's an Italian restaurant. Used to just be a BYO. In any event, they had this sweepstakes, this little giveaway on Instagram where, you have to make sure you're following the page, which I was. I think tag someone and then maybe share it to your story. So I did all of that, and guess who won? Philly won. I was so excited. Hubs was excited. If it's free, it's for me. And we love the place. So we went there last night, and it was absolutely lovely. They have come under new ownership, which I will say for us foodies, I was a little concerned because, you just want to make sure things don't change. And they've been through a lot. These restaurants in the cities have been through so much with the pandemic. In any event, it was absolutely wonderful. The meal was great. We had a lot of the same servers that were there that we love, and it was absolutely delicious. I got the pasta special, and considering how hot it was, it kind of wasn't the kind of meal I would usually think to get because it was homemade trophy pasta. And trophy, Trofie, is just this lovely, you take a little, when you're making, you have the pasta, you roll it, and then you kind of roll it in your hand so it kind of is a little bit thicker in the middle and then tapers down. It's such a great pasta, and it's at one of my favorite pasta restaurants, Fiorella, occasionally. And when they said that, I was immediately hooked. But what got me was when they were talking about it, he said potatoes were there, and I said, "Did you say potatoes?" And he said, "Yes." So in any event, and burrata was on top, so burrata kind of got me in as well. It was absolutely delicious, and it was decadent, but not like Alfredo decadent. It was like a homemade pesto that gave you some freshness of basil. Anything else in it, babe? Do you remember?
I do not remember.
Yeah, it was just delicious. And then
But then we
Hubs
got
got
the
bronzino,
bronzino.
and then we split both of them. So we each had half and half, and we got.
And they filleted it at the table,
And they
which was
filleted at
cool.
the table, did a great job. But I forgot to get a picture of it before it got filleted, so I felt like I'd shirked my duties. And then we also got grilled octopus for an appetizer. It was fabulous. So we love it there. They now serve cocktails. We still can bring our own wine, which we were glad to hear because it was always a BYO, and that's what we would do. But yeah, so if you are in the city, it's
And the prices are not bad
The
at this
prices
place.
are not bad. They're not bad. And Diaz knows what I'm talking about citywide. You know, they're really not that bad. So Radicchio, it's a great Italian place. All right, so when you use this julienne, there's always the ends that kind of stick together a little bit. And so I'm just removing those, and then I'm gonna put them in with my, just right here, my cabbage. Now the reason I wanna get this done first is this allows everything to kind of get happy together. And if I don't do this, then I feel like I'm not gonna be as happy. I'm not gonna be as happy with the flavors that kind of haven't developed together. So that's why we're doing this first. I just want to get this outer layer on this green onion so that it's nice and crisp what I'm slicing. I've already washed these. I think that one will be fine. Okay, so let me get this. So this is a green onion. Like I said, you could use white, red, you could use whatever onion you wanted. I probably would go with more of a sweeter onion. I just thought I had the green onions. They are milder, and so that's what I was going to do. So I'm just going to get these sliced. And I'm not going to, for this, I'm actually not going to go all the way to the green tips. I'm going to stop before I get there and save those in case I make anything this week that I want just the green parts. So, which is nice to have. So these I'll save and set aside. You know, it's kind of like if you can use it, set it aside so that you can use it for another meal. And I'm going to put those there. All right. And I can see already that I should have chosen a bigger bowl because it'll look pretty in this bowl, but it will not be easy to toss in this bowl. So I'll make another bowl. And Hubs is going to frown because he's going to be like, oh no, you're dirtying more things.
You already talked about this, that you do this. You're like
I really am bad with bowls.
You're a small bowl person.
I'm a small bowl person. I misjudge all the time. So I'm going to put this in here. And get some tongs.
You have no spatial awareness.
I know, and it's the bowl thing. I think with plates I'm okay. It's truly a bowl thing. Does anyone else have a bowl issue? And let's see what it says. And it says still haven't had time to really go out and photograph. Picked up a few photo clients. So busy. Oh, wonderful. That's awesome. And Barb says awful in New Jersey. It is awful in New Jersey. Barb, are you staying cool though, Barb? Yes, we're all. Oh, what's the flowers? So this, yes, I love it. You're always very observant. So these are some, Hubs picked me up in the field outside. No, he picked me up at the local market that they had, but they do get these flowers locally. And so it looks to me kind of like in the marigold family. Did they say they were marigolds, sweetie?
No, I told you it was,
no, I forget.
can't remember what they were.
You didn't actually know what they were?
No, but it had it on the thing. I
Oh, it
mentioned
did?
last time.
Oh. Anywho,
I just don't remember what it
but they're very nice. So I have some over on my wall, and we've got some there. All right, so now let me just shake this up, because this was my white sauce that we already talked about. It's all yummy. I'm going to add this here. Just pour, not too much, because slaw, I feel like when you add the liquid, it doesn't seem like enough, but then everything kind of relaxes and marinates, and then it becomes just fine liquid-wise. So let me do a toss and see how it looks to me. Yeah, I think this is going to be fine. Because what'll happen, and I'm going to show y'all, what'll happen is after you add the dressing, after it sits, it'll continue to kind of wilt, especially the cabbage more, and you'll see liquid at the bottom once we're getting ready to put this on one of the burgers. So let me tell you about the burgers. So one of the chicken burgers is going to be a smashed burger. Very excited about that. I've made a smashed burger, but I've never made a chicken one. And it kind of dawned on me getting ready for the stream when I was planning and figuring out what I was going to do. I'm like, this is the perfect place to do it because I love chicken burgers, and so let's not do a smash. I don't feel like I've seen a smashed chicken burger yet. I'm sure someone has done it, but I just haven't seen it. I'm just getting some of these carrots apart that are sticking together. All right, so let me show you this. And you know what? I'm going to add a little bit for color and taste. You don't have to do this. I'm going to add a little cilantro because I always have it in the fridge. You could add parsley. I wouldn't do basil. I don't think basil would be a good match in there, but certainly, oh my goodness. The only thing is I need to get better containers that are easier to open. This one is not behaving. Let me just Try it with a towel. But I kind of feel like I need that color in there. Come on. Oh, there we go.
Need help?
Nope. Thank you, though. I got it. Okay, just sprinkle some. Me and my frozen herbs. Okay, that's what they're going to put on my epitaph someday. She froze her herbs. Goofy Philly. There we go. But it just added a nice little green color because we had we had the orange and the purple and a little bit of the white onions. Now we have a little bit of green. So let me show that to you. So it's all set to go. I'm going to put it in the pretty bowl. Actually, I should show it to you once in the pretty bowl, because the colors will stand out from the white. So did you all tell me what you're eating, since it's so hot and sometimes you don't even want to eat anything because, like, I don't tend to be as hungry when it gets this hot. We were at the game, like I mentioned, that's a big piece of cabbage. I'm just going to toss that. We were at the game on Friday and we had...
You should say what game.
Oh, at the Phillies game. We were at the Phillies game and they lost. But we got to see Cole Hamels' retirement ceremony, which was really special. He was one of our great pitchers, and he was one of the pitchers when they won the World Series in 2008. In any event, it was lovely to see it. It was really hot, and lines were long at the food places, and we ended up just settling with fried food. And I came home, and both Hubs and I, as Hubs said, we felt like we were like stuffed ticks, like for the salt, content in there. Let me just give a little taste. Oh, that's good. Such good tang. There's our slaw. It is tangy, but it's going to be great for our chicken burgers. And I'm going to put this over here. Okay. But I was like, oh, and that's when you saw the post. I had fruit and veggies with my wrap because I couldn't. Oh, before I actually put this away, I'm going to use, so back to the burgers. I'm sorry, I kind of digressed. That smash burger, I'm going to tell you more about, but one of the things we're going to put on it instead of ketchup or even red barbecue sauce is we're going to put some of this. But it's a little thin. You can see, let me just use this to show you. You can see, like, it's quite liquidy, and that's how it's supposed to be. So I want to thicken it up. Now, the mayonnaise is what makes it white, so I'm going to thicken it with a little more mayonnaise. Oops, throwing spoons. That way, I've got more of a sauce for my burger, for my smashed burger. So let me get my mayo. You can certainly use full-fat mayo. I use light. We just save where we can. So this is Hellmann's light mayo, and I do not get paid to say it's Hellmann's. There we go. So I do want to taste this because I want to make sure that it still keeps its tang. And the mayonnaise will lighten that tang a bit. So I want to make sure it won't be, I definitely don't want it as thick as this, but I don't want it as thin as that. So let's add some. Let's see if we can make a nice spread. So let's just see how this goes. I know it'll be looser, but I just don't want it to be so loose that it just runs off, because that's fine with a chicken wing or with some barbecue chicken that you can kind of dip it back in with your fork. But the burger, now that's a little, I can go a little thinner than that. Let me do one more. Let's see how this is. Just looking for the right kind of consistency. Again, runnier than a mayo. We're almost there. I just want to get the flavor though. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, but I'm going to just do a little bit more. There we go. This should do it. This should be good. I'm going to actually lick this. It is such a great tang. Woo! And I had a little heat there from that. There's some cayenne in there, but it's not like hot. I don't want to scare you. Okay, so this is a nice consistency. So let me show you. So it's not going to totally run off that burger, but it's not going to pour, which is nice. Like, it's just it's creamy. It's almost like a crema, which is exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to put this in the fridge. It can stay cool until our burgers are ready. And I'm going to get this one in the fridge also. So on that smashed burger, we are going to season our burger during the smashing process, we're going to use barbecue 3000. And I'm going to do the technique I've seen on a lot of social media, where we're going to thinly slice some onions and then put that down on the griddle to start the cooking. But there's kind of like a couple tips I want to share with you once we do the smash burger that'll help you have better luck with your smash burger. I'm hoping it will continue to be success. But you know, it's live cooking, so mistakes can happen. I'll be bringing you guys over here when it's time. But first, I do want to get that onion sliced thin that we will need for our smash burger. So, and then also on that smash burger is going to be some cheddar cheese. So I'm actually going to get that grated also. So let's do both those things. Let's see. And for the cheese today, you could really do any cheese, and you could decide not to have cheese, but on my smash burgers, I feel like it needs cheese. So we're going to do cheese. Monterey Jack would be great, but we are going to do, this just happens to be a marbled cheddar. It's a marbled sharp, but it could be whatever cheddar you like, whatever seems tasty to you, because as long as you like it, then you'll be happy with it.
I think we should test and make sure that that cheddar is okay.
Do you need a cheese? It's a cheese tax. You know what that? Did you know that?
Cheese tax?
Yeah. Have you heard the girls? Ralph, my sister's dog. They used to say Ralph was demanding a cheese tax.
Cheese tax.
Yeah.
I like that.
You do that.
All right.
You demand, especially with Parmesan. Parmesan and Reggiano, I get that out. Hubs wants cheese tax. So yes, I will pay you a cheese tax. Let me get a little knife.
Just toss it over here.
And DS was saying, and Edith said, you always ask that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, DS is making empanadas, rice, and black beans. That sounds amazing. Yes, that was really cool. It was very cool to be there for the Hamels thing. And we were laughing because he was always known like Hollywood Hamels.
His nickname was Hollywood.
Hollywood. But my goodness, he looks, dare say, even better today than he looked back in 08, 09. I mean, it was incredible. So let's see if Hubs approves of the cheese. Is the cheese worthy for the chicken smashed barbecue hamburger? What do you think?
That's pretty good cheese.
I think I better try it too. Let's see. So it's just marbled. Doesn't need to be just what I had.
Yeah,
That's nice.
That's good cheese.
Mm-hmm. This is just Cracker Barrel. That's nice. Okay, so let's get some grated. But again, you could use whatever cheese you wanted. And you don't have to grate it. You could absolutely make these into slices. Since this is a chunk, I feel like for me, the grating will just make it easier. And it also, I think will I'm hoping to melt a little quicker, but I also have a cover I can put over it to help with the melting. All right, I think that should be good. I know you can never have too much cheese, but what I don't want to have happen is all the cheese just pool onto the pan. So that should be good. All right, so let me get a bag for this. We've got our cheese. Next, we're gonna slice our onions. So this method comes from Oklahoma, I believe. And I believe the story goes that during the Depression, they would add a considerable amount of onions when they were making their burgers, and they would do it right on the griddle before they put the beef on. They put the beef on, then flip it, and I think they even flipped it onto more onions, just to kind of help flavor but bulk up what your burger experience was. And I believe it was Oklahoma. And I have not tried that yet. It's very oniony. I love onions, but just to warn anyone, it's really oniony. But I liked the idea of just putting some down on the one side. So I'll show you kind of how we're going to do that. I do want to get them thin because they are going to cook quick, and they're going to cook with the meat. And so they're going to serve a couple of purposes. They're not only going to actually kind of meld into the meat, but they're going to give it good flavor. All right, so let's get this onion cut. Now, this was a hack I saw for getting thin sliced onions. And I'm going to try it first. I don't know if it works. I'm going to try it live here for y'all. I have no idea. I feel like I need to get one more layer off this onion. This is just a white onion. All right, so the hack is taking like this style potato peeler, which I never use. I got it with, I think, another one of my peelers. And so I didn't, like, it was like, why am I going to throw it away? But I prefer this style. So I will try it with this one too. But what they do, let me just, is they bring it along. You just kind of, yeah, that's doing exactly what I thought it was going to do. It kind of made that happen, and I think cutting is going to be better. So what I am going to do, since I needed to anyway, is we are going to grate this onion for our second burger. So let me tell you about our second burger, and I just realized that I need to clean my cheese grater. So our second burger is going to be more traditionally styled, so to speak. It's going to be just your typical thicker burger, and in that we're going to be using the spice dry rub that I made this season. I'm going to be adding a little grated onion in the meat to not only flavor it, but also to help it with some moisture. I've been making these burgers a lot. It's not, if you don't like onion, you could leave this step out, but you know, any opportunity to part some flavor, I do like onion, and also some moisture into the burger so it stays moist inside, I'm all for it. So before I slice these for the other burger, I'm going to do some grating. So this is for our traditional one. It was already getting messed up on top, so I thought I might as well. We don't need that much because I'm only going to be making, actually I'm going to be making two because I'm just going to use the meat I have all up. Ooh, that's a little spicy on the eyes. So if you use this side of the grater, it just makes your onion really small. And actually, I think that's all I want. Yeah, I don't need too much, but I do want some. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on, oh, my eyes, oh my goodness.
You all right?
No, it's what happens. I didn't touch my eyes, it's literally the fumes. You all know this. The fumes can sometimes be a bit strong. And they are, my goodness, I'm gonna turn that down. All right, so let's get that grated onion for our regular traditional burger. So the seasoning's gonna be mine, the grated onion, make them into a patty, grill them in my grill pan, and then, let's put that back in there. Let me just clear this off a second. And then on top, it is not getting cheese. I know, the sacrilege. I actually didn't want the cheese. On the top of that one is going to be the slaw. And we have had burgers this way where you have slaw on there, and you could put cheese on it. I actually prefer just the juiciness of the burger, the slaw, the bun. Yep, that's all she wrote. So I do think we will smear a little bit of that Alabama white sauce mayo on there just to make sure it's moist. I don't like dry burgers. I want to make sure it's yummy. So now I'm going to cut off just this grated part, and now I'm going to slice my own onions. Let me just put this here.
What kind of barbecue sauce
So
are you
which
using?
is Alabama white barbecue sauce. That's the barbecue sauce that's on it. Hubs has not been happy since finding out there's no red barbecue sauce. So which one do you think you all would prefer? And have you ever had the Alabama white sauce? So I'm getting these pretty small. Thin, I didn't mean small, I meant thin. And that might be all I need. I don't really want a ton. I'm going to do one more pass. So as long as you're slow, you can, there we go. That's all I need. Let me get this in a bag. Oh, there it is. By the way, tip, if you are, I know plastic bags are controversial, so let me just say it out there. We do use them. We try to be good about not using too many. But tip, if you're storing your onion in a plastic bag, because of that spiciness, to avoid so much smell in your refrigerator, because sometimes it goes through the plastic bag, if you have them facing down and put them down on the bottom like that, it helps kind of control that. So that's just my little Philly tip. There was a time when and actually still happens today when I forget to do that I open up the fridge and I'm like, oh my gosh, all I smell is onion. And while I like onion, I don't want to just all smell onion. Now I'm actually going to just kind of break up these rings. And I do think we probably have more than we need, but that's okay. I'll save them for a salad. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna put these here. These are gonna go down when we smash our patties. They're gonna cook just a little bit on the hot griddle. So we're doing all our prep now. Oh, and then the pickles, by the way, they were definitely gonna go on the smash burger because it won't have the slaw. And I think I'm not gonna put them on the other burger because again, they're kind of just both styled a little differently. So that's my plan. But obviously you could put your pickles on anything. And oh, Hubs, you haven't tried the pickle yet.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah. Here, let me get you a taste. And then we're going to begin. Actually, we got to do a couple things for the watermelon salad. Okay. I have a nice big piece of garlic here for you.
No, please.
I'm teasing. Here you go.
It's a good pickle.
It's a good pickle?
Yeah, nice work.
Thank you.
Garlicky.
I didn't give him any garlic. No, I shouldn't say all.
Mackerel, there's a lot of garlic on that.
See what I have to deal with? So in most pickles, there is garlic. That is a standard. I mean, I'm sure there's some that don't, but
Garlic.
I don't know if you can all hear him because he doesn't have his actual thing on, but it's near him. But he's a bit of a garlic crybaby. All right, so last thing is our watermelon salad, and then we're ready to cook the burgers. The burgers will not take too long to cook. So let me just get a couple of our things. I already cut the watermelon. We got it at our local market, one of those small ones, and it is lovely, one of those little ones. Seedless. And all we're going to do is we are going to, let me put this here, we're going to cut some of these Persian cucumbers. I've already washed them. And just cut them into slices. And then they're going to go in the bowl. Oops, lost one. Oh, we're losing them. I better face this way. They don't have to be super thin. I'm probably doing them about as thick as my pickles that Hubs thinks are too garlicky. I just can't. So what's your favorite pickle? That's a good question. Is it a local pickle or is it from the grocery store? What's your favorite pickle? Barbara, how about you? Or do you like pickles? I should ask. Not everyone likes pickles. I love me a good pickle. I love me lots of different kinds of pickles. There was this one at a farmer's market when we lived in the suburbs in Jersey, and it was a local place, and they have since stopped making them. But it was a spicy and sweet pickle, and it was fabulous.
Yeah, that was a great pickle.
It was really good.
Wasn't that, they were in actually Philadelphia area, right?
No, they were in Haddon Township. The
Oh,
company
that's right.
was.
You're right.
So I'm going to wash this little runaway and get him in. So I would love to know about the pickles.
You know what I'm still a fan of? The bread.
What?
The bread and butters.
Oh, yeah. I don't like them as much as I did. As a child, those are my go-to. As a child, like that to me is a great way to get kids to eat pickles is try the bread and butters. That's definitely how I started.
I am still a child.
This one has some seeds in it, even though it's seedless, so I'm going to take that one out so we don't chop on the seed. But I just like variety. Like I do love a spicy pickle. I just like a good small batch dill pickle. I really do. And if we buy them, probably Clausen, it'd be my favorite. So Edith said that she had cooking hot dogs and fingerling potatoes. I love fingerling potatoes. Okay. So we have a watermelon salad here. Now you can put onions in this. Actually, you know what? I will put a little bit of onion because I made too much anyway. So that would be a great thing for me to add since I have them. Have a little too much. Let me get that. Some of these really thin ones. That's what we'll do. Just add a little bit, not too much. A nice another thin one. Perfect. And I'm going to rinse them first. So sometimes if you're worried about an onion being too bright and hot, so to speak, if you soak them in water or soak them in vinegar for a little bit, but water even helps. It really helps kind of take out some of that. So I'm not soaking them, but I'm just going to give them a quick rinse. And here I just don't want them to overpower. And it's made my eyes smart a bit, so I figured that probably doesn't hurt. Just gonna sprinkle a couple of these. You could do red onion with this, but I probably would soak it or do something like that. All right, so we have cucumber, we have a watermelon, we've got some feta cheese here. There we go. Nice little piece. And then, let me throw this away. Let's see what else we need. Put this watermelon back in the fridge. And then to dress it, all we're going to do, we're going to keep it super simple, is we're going to get a little lemon. I'm going to squeeze some lemon over it. I have a quarter that I used when I made the white sauce, so that'll be perfect. A little olive oil, salt and pepper, and basil. Now mint is very traditional also. We tried getting mint today at the market and they were out. Apparently too many of my neighbors were making mojitos this weekend and they used up all the mint. So that was a little bit sad, but it is what it is. But basil is a great substitute. And some people just prefer basil. So I'm just gonna squeeze this lemon over it, a little acidity, and I've got my good olive oil to balance that. There we go. Simple as it gets. Fresh, fruity, a little veggie. You don't need a lot of salt because of the feta. The feta is salty. Now you could definitely mix it, try to get this dressing emulsified, but I find if you toss it before you eat it, this works just fine. Get a little basil. My basil, because of how I do it, I actually keep in a baggie. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of that over it. There we go. All right. Of course, it sticks to your hand then because it instantly starts to, oh, the basil smells so good. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, if you can't get them fresh or when you have the overflow, just freeze them. That way you've got fresh herbs whenever, and they're even easier because they're already cut. So there we go. There's a great watermelon, cucumber, feta salad. A little basil. Alrighty. So we have that. I think everything is about ready. Let's get the cheese over there. Let me see.
You haven't started cooking yet, have you?
No, because the cooking doesn't take that long. So when you do this, you want to get everything ready so that it's good to go for when it's cooking time. So let me get this on. I'm going to actually keep this here because I'll need this when I put together the burgers. I'm going to mix the burgers together. Let's prep our burgers now, actually. That's a good plan. Let me just wipe off a little bit. I'm not going to need this. Just adjust myself here. Oh. There we go. All right. And Barbara, what are you having for dinner tonight? All right. If you're just joining us, we are making chicken barbecue burgers 2 ways to try to see which one makes the ultimate chicken barbecue burger. So let's get our burgers ready now. So I have here the ground chicken. And first thing I'm going to do is use this. This is just your 8% fat, lean. So I guess it's not 94, it's more 92. Sometimes the turkey says 94, so just whichever one is, just don't, I would highly recommend not getting the chicken breast. It will not yield a very tender burger. You just rinse this. Let's see here. Did you put your little thing on? You're not by your little microphone, babe. Okay. So one of the things I noticed when I was looking into smash burgers, again, I've made them, but I was wondering, because these are the things I wonder. I don't know if you guys are as kooky as I am, but I was wondering, what is the perfect size for a smash burger? And in most smash burgers, they do a double, and that's what we're going to do today. Not that you have to do it, but that's what we're doing. And I was reading that they really have found that 4 ounces seems to be the best size. So I brought my scale because I want to make sure I do 4 ounces. So let me first get a little lid here to put on top so I don't make my scale dirty. Let me also make sure it's on ounces, which it is. So the first thing, and there's my plate to put these 4 ounce burgers. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to get about 4 ounces on here. Let's see. Close. There we go. I feel like I'm working at a store where I'm trying to make sure. Yep, okay. So then I'm just going to take this meat. I'm not going to season it. The smash burgers are going to get seasoned when they cook, and I'm just loosely putting it. You don't want to squish it into a hockey puck, but just make it into a loose kind of meatball, so to speak. And then we're going to put those in the fridge, and that was something else I was reading about when I did my deep dive on the perfect smash burger. Okay, let's add a little bit more. The things that keep me up at night. And here's our other one. Okay, so I'm just loosely putting this together. All right, there we go. Okay, so what they recommended, what they found was the better yield to a juicy burger, because you are smashing it, you're fully cooking it, which does make a chicken burger perfect as a meat used in it, is if you refrigerate it before you do the smash with a hot, screaming hot pan, it actually stays juicier. This guy did all the work, and I wish I could cite who it was when I was reading and scouring the internet for different information, but I do not. But thank you, sir, whoever you were, that he just kind of did a deep dive on what makes the best smash burger. And while the smash burgers he was making were beef ones, I knew as a cook that it could apply to our chicken ones. So these are ready to go, 2 4-ounce sections. If you don't have the scale, just use your math. Divide this into 4 pieces, because this is a pound, to get your 4 ounces. So don't worry if it's exact, but I had my scale, so I thought I might as well use it. So those are going to stay in the fridge. And then my other 2 burgers.
I'm impressed you didn't need a calculator for that. That was pretty good.
Oh, he's teasing. I can tell a little bit of tease there, babe. All right. Actually, Hubs, quick question. Can I borrow your phone before I make these burgers? Get this in there. So this is the other ½ pound. Can I borrow your phone real quick? Because I did want to take a picture of the salads before I forget about that and make my other burgers. And I need one more plate. It's going to be the day of plates, using lots of plates. Thank you, babe. Do you want to come say hello while I take these quick pictures?
Do you want me to start doing dishes?
Sure, if you want to, but can you come say hello while you're doing dishes?
I have to put my thing on.
For those of you who are watching, one thing as a live streamer is you got to kind of multitask your picture taking, because since we taste everything on stream, you don't get the pretty shot of the dishes you're making. So let me just get a picture of this before we start our chicken cooking. And I want to get a picture of these lovely salads. And Hubs is going to start doing his duty, which he loves to clean up the messes I make, which I'm so appreciative of.
It's my happy place.
It is your happy place.
I really enjoy doing the dishes and putting away the dishes.
It's funny, he's saying that sarcastically, but he's often said,
No, it's sarcastic.
You mess it up, or you make it, I'll clean it. You've said that to me.
Well, that is true. I have said that.
So I'm confused.
Because the good thing is that I get to eat the good food.
That is my point. That is exactly my point. All right. So I'm going to leave these right here because we're going to be heading over to the stove now that the pictures are taken. So the last thing we're going to do before we begin cooking, and I'm going to actually get these pans going, especially this one, while we're doing the last burger prep, is I'm going to, oops, wrong one.
Cheese tacks.
Let me see, there we go. Get these. This is a cast iron grill pan that I have. Forget where I got it, but I love it. I like the way it's raised kind of more sharply than some that are just kind of gently curved, so it gives you that iconic grill mark. And then this is just a Calphalon griddle that I've had for years. Great for pancakes, great for making a French omelet, great for all sorts of things, and great for smash burgers for sure. I'm getting these heated up. So our kitchen's gonna get a little toasty, that's for sure. And I'm gonna bring y'all over. Let me just get that like that. Okay, all right.
So
Actually, let me finish making the burgers first though.
a couple of years, what was it, a couple of years? No, it was last year.
What's that?
So our air conditioning unit was struggling. And so we decided to get, we knew we had to get a new air conditioning unit. And now it's just
It is
fine.
so much better. It is so much better. So this is the mixture I told you about, my dry rub that's listed below. And I'm gonna put 1.5 spoonfuls on there and see how that looks. This is salt mixed with a lot of other things. So I do wanna make sure it's seasoned enough.
These paper towels for any.
Yeah, they're just there for me to wipe. Can you just keep them all to one side? Because that way, when I use them, I've got them in case I need any more. And I'm going to kind of smell. No, I would put a little bit more. Can you put 1/2 teaspoon more in this meat for me, please? Remember, it's not 1/2 teaspoon of salt. It's a season, half of that, half, less, more. Good. Just sprinkle. There you go. Thank you. Awesome. Oh, and I can't forget my onions. Honey, will you bring the onions in there too? So, smush, put those in.
With my hand?
Yes, or the spoon. Just use the spoon. My hand. Did he just say with my hand? Put them all in. Perfect. That's it. Bring that back over. Thank you. Most helpful. So unfortunately, I feel like I'm going to overwork this dough just a tad, but not too bad. I'm being really, really gentle. What?
It's not dough.
Oh, it's dough. Sorry. He's very picky. I might not be observant, but you observe everything. So not this dough, this ground meat. And then I'm going to gently form it into a patty. Oh, it smells so good. Okay. Gently forming a patty. I should have actually made these earlier before the watermelon salad so they would have a chance to kind of get the flavors all together. If you have time, that's what I do when I make my chicken burgers. Plus, they stay together. They stay together better if they've been chilled a little bit. This is just your chicken patties, but I think this will be fine. And can I rinse my hands?
Yep, go ahead.
And then I'm gonna actually put it in there while I get my griddles. What do you call it? Oiled, just to give it a quick chill even for a minute before I put them on. Oh. Okay.
Good?
Yep, and put these in just for a quick minute. Our other ones are already in. And again, if you have time, it's good to put them in. They will, the meat will work better for you. It'll stay better more easily. Again, this is a poultry issue. So do try to chill your poultry burgers. I kind of forgot about that until I was just making it, thinking, oh, that would have been nice. Okay, so let me just wipe this and bring y'all over and get our griddles ready, and we'll start the process. Let me just check the chat first before I do that. Oh, it was it's one of my favorite places, and Hubs was a little bit jealous because we've gone together, but it was girls only. So sadly he could not come, but it was wonderful. All right, let's bring you over. So let's see. Hopefully y'all don't get car sick, so you might want to look away for just a minute. And you'll get to look first at my lovely back of my thing wipe. Turn this down, my backsplash. Let's make sure you can see what's going on. Okay, so the trick is I want you to see what's going on, but I want to still be able to get to the pans. So I think this should work. Okay, all right, there we go. Live action. That's what we're all about here. Let me just move it just a little bit more. Okay, so this one's getting nice and warm, and the other one is too. Let me get this oiled. So what I like to do when I oil it, in fact, I'm gonna put this cheese over here because this is where I'm gonna be doing the cheese for my smash burgers. If I can remember what all my plans were for everything, I will be so thrilled. But I can be a little bit like squirrel when things happen and forget what my ultimate plan was. So I'm just going to take a little, I spritzed a little bit of a neutral oil here. It's a non-stick grill, but just for added non-stickiness, so to speak. And then I'm going to be all ready to do that when we get our smash burgers.
That's another Amy word.
That's another Amy word. I love the Amy words. And you love the Amy words, don't you? By the way, that can all go in the trash because we're going to take the trash out.
Yeah, okay.
Just so you know. All right, so friends, let me get out the burgers we just made. This is our traditional styled burger right here, and we are going to get it searing. So my tip for when you're making chicken burgers of any kind is you get a good sear, and then, so that takes usually a minute or two, then you flip, and I turn the heat down a little bit, and I do a slight coverage with this. Then when it's cooked at about 4 minutes, I flip it again. By the way, I turn up the heat, flip again, get a sear, and then turn it down. And for me, that has resulted in a very juicy burger. So that's our goal. So let's get the first one here. There we go. There we go. So we're going to get that searing first, blazing hot.
Which one are you cooking first?
Could you wash this for me? That one, because it's going to sit tight in the microwave while we do our smash burgers. Because our smash burgers are a little bit, have more nuance. So I got to kind of be very present when I do the smash burger. So we're going to get these cooked, put them in the microwave, and then we'll be able to do the smashed ones. So as I mentioned, we're going to cook these on this side for about 1-2 minutes to get a good sear. Then we'll flip. Let me get my little spatulas. Sometimes it's nice to have two, just in case we do a little bit of encouragement like that. So we'll just let them go. The best tip I would give about any burger, unless you're smashing it, is leave it alone. When you're cooking a traditional burger, don't fuss, don't move it, don't push it. Gosh, if you do this on a traditional burger, you're getting all of the liquid and juices and yummy stuff out. Traditional burgers, you want to touch as little as possible just for flipping. Now smashed, we do a totally different technique, and that's going to result in a very different burger. So let me, while this is getting seared, let me tell you about our bread. So locally, we have these amazing milk buns. Milk bun is a milk bread is a process that takes quite a few days to develop flavor, and these are so tender, and these happen to be seeded with sesame seeds. So these are going to be the buns we're using today. So while that is searing, whoopsie, I don't know what I just flipped. While that is searing, I'm going, I don't know what I just moved. I'll check that out later. What I'm searing, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. While I'm searing, I'm going to get these in my air fryer so that they can get browned on top. So let me get that preheating. And I think I'm looking at there. So
Make quite
under
a
here,
mess.
what I'm looking at is I'm seeing it start to be gray towards the top. That is a good sign. So I'm about ready to flip. In fact, I think I am ready to flip. That's the sign I want to look for. So I'm just going, let me try to do it without my other one. Oh, it's friendly. There we go. See the nice grill marks? There we go. I just told you don't touch it, and I just touched it, but I was just trying to get it so even cooking. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually, and I've done it this way too. So the one technique I was telling you was sear, turn it down, cover. But I've also done it where I actually sear, and then in a minute, not quite yet, I'm going to cover it and turn it down. So, you know, when you're cooking, you have a couple different ways. And this one is probably one I do more often because it kind of has less hands-on time, which is nice.
Sorry.
So let that go for 1 more minute, and then meanwhile I'm going to cut the buns here so they can go and get toasted.
Nothing like toasted buns.
Nothing like toasted buns.
What's
But these buns are so delicious. And when we had that stream where they were on homemade milk buns, what was the place, Huda? The one this month. You saw how much we enjoyed our sandwiches. And part of it was the bread. And when your bread can make your sandwiches be so delicious, that's just the best. Okay, so it has had a chance to sear. I'm now going to partially cover this. There we go. And I'm going to turn it down. So I had it on high. I'm going to put it to, I'm going to start with medium, and then I'll turn it down to low. What we need to do here is we need to get these cooked the rest of the way. That's what's important. Meanwhile, let me get these buns cut. So I'll cut them. And then I'm just going to spray them with some of the oil spray just so they can get nice and brown. I don't know if you can tell, but like these are, they're just so soft and gushy. They're just amazing. Great bread. Now, you could also, if you are gluten-free or if you're trying to save on your carbs, you could also just put it on a salad, and that would be absolutely delicious. But our goal is we want this chicken to finish cooking. You don't want to fully cover it because we don't want them to steam, but we do want it to finish cooking all the way. So I'm going to spray the bun. So I'm just going to take my spray and give it a spray here, and then get those toasted. It has almost a sweetness to it, which makes this bread so delicious. It does not taste like, you know, you're having a pastry roll, but there is just a slight sweetness. And they're really remarkable. If you ever have the chance to try a milk bun or a milk bread, be sure and do so. It will be worth it. You will not be disappointed. Now, meanwhile, my pan here is getting screaming hot, which is exactly what I want. If you're cooking outside and you have one of those Blackstone grills for this, that'll be perfect. That will be exactly what you want. So now I'm going to turn my heat for these down to number 2 so they can just hang out and cook, and we're going to get started. Let me get my buns in here to get toasted. I don't want to forget about them because I don't want them to be in there. So I'm going to put them in for 3 minutes in my air fryer to get them toasted. So let's see here. Temperature, do it at 400. Time, just 3 minutes. There we go. Okay, so those are going to go, and let's get to the smash burger smashing. One of the things that
Can I pour you a beer or anything? Get you a beer?
Later I would. Just
okay.
like one of the things that makes a nice smash burger is the right tools. So find your sturdiest. This is a very sturdy spatula that I have. I would like to actually get one specifically for smash burgers. And then this is a nice thing that I can use to help push down. You can use a pan also, but this is a super sturdy potato masher. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is my plan. Let me get some oil on here and get it spread around. I'm going to use a little bit more. I smell fish because this had fish on it last time. So maybe they'll be a little fishy. Okay, so this is our plan. The first thing we're going to do is on one side, I'm going to put my onions to get them started grilling. On my other side, I'm going to start my burger, and I'll tell you why. Burgers sometimes will stick to the spatulas. And so one way to cause it not to stick and take them right from the fridge, and you're not seasoning it yet, is to put the one side directly on the grill, just for a minute. And in doing so, what happens is you're going to enable there to be just a little crust before you turn it over onto these onions, or if you aren't using onions, just before you turn it over. And that way, when you push down on the other side, it'll be fine. So while this is on this side, I'm going to actually put a little bit of seasoning, my Penzy seasoning on it. That'll be going right onto these onions, and now I'm going to give it a little flip. So let's see if I can do this. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to smush. So to see how it didn't stick? It didn't stick because of that little bit of brown. I'm going to smash, smash, smash. Okay, so now we're going to do a little flip. There we go. Get those onions closer. And let's smush. Smush and smash. You can see. So I'm going to move this one over a little bit so that he has a little bit more room. Get those onions all together. I want to get those lacy edges. Okay, there you go. And now we're going to season this side with the Penzies. Get that barbecue seasoning. And that's all she wrote. So we're going to cook it here for a little bit, and then we're going to be flipping it. And when we flip it, it's going to cook on the other side. And my buns are done. Oh, they got a little toasty. Oh, well. It is. Hubs will be happy. He likes his buns toasty. I know you were going to laugh at that. Let me check on these. The best way to check on the burgers, by the way, is
to... Don't tell the secrets there, Philly.
The best way to check on the burgers is to use a thermometer, but I do have a poke test. I'm just going to do it on the other side for just a minute. Get some of that. That's the sugar that was in the seasoning. Oh, they're yummy. Oh, that's good. And then we'll put these on a plate to finish resting. And those we gotta wash. This is the clean one, right? Yep. I think those are about done. I'm gonna turn this off. Nope, no sauce. You're gonna be cut out of the kitchen, love. You don't want that to happen. All right, these look ready to flip. So now we're gonna flip these. I'm gonna actually put a couple of these onions here just because some did not make it on the team. So now we're going to flip. There we go. And look at how the onions have grilled. They're gonna provide flavor. There we go. Look at that. Excellent. Okay, get that all there. And now, all we need, in fact, let's get these together a little bit closer. Oh, I should have thought about that. Because now we need some cheese. We need some cheese, and we need the lid to help with that. And I'm gonna get those burgers into the microwave to stay warm. Let me move this.
These salads look great.
Oh, good. Thank you. So those are going to steam. And then I'm going to get my burgers that are nice and ready. There we go. Look at those. Look at those. Gorgeous. And they're going to be tender and juicy. Get that in the microwave. The microwave is a great place to keep things warm. You see? You can't touch that, that's going to be screaming hot. So we got to let that pan cool down. Let's see how we're doing. We're getting almost ready. Okay, so for our buns, let me get the bottom bun on. Let's see here. A little crispy, as I said. Here's our buns all toasted. Andy, can you scooch? Because I'm going to be doing the rest over here. Okay, so all the heat's off. I'm going to bring you all up and bring you back. And we're going to get these assembled. Whoopsie, sorry for the seasickness. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right, so now, let me bring this over. Our cheese is all melted. Nope. Good. And let me just show. Let me get one pad here. Okay. Look at these. Look at that cheese. Yum. All right, so now we need a little bit of our mayo. Our mayo is right here. Remember the Alabama white sauce mayo that we talked about? So 2 are going to go in one of these. We're going to get some down below and get a couple pickles. I think you took the fork by mistake.
I did. Sorry.
Can you get me out a beer now? That would be actually
You want
great.
a beer?
Yes. I'm going to put the pickles on the bottom. Looks like we can fit 4 here. Okay. I'll leave the pickles out in case anybody wants pickles. Now we're going to take our first patty and put it on. Oh, nice. Our second patty and put it on. Holy cow. We got some cheese here. Just be careful you don't burn yourself, Hubs. You can pick at this, but it is hot, so just be careful.
Okay.
Okay. And look at these. And now we're gonna, on this bun, put the sauce here. A little more. There we go.
Oh,
Wow.
a good little crunchy.
Wow. I know we have to get the other burger, but doesn't that look nice? That looks nice. Now for the other burger, I am going to put a little bit of this on both just because I want there to be something, but not red sauce.
A shot.
Okay, so just a little bit, just a smidge. And now we're going to get our, now we have two. I can have one for lunch tomorrow. I'll pick the nicer one, and we're going to put this one here. Whoopsie. There we go. I'm going to actually include those juices just because why not? What I love is in this rub there's a sweetness, which is just going to make it amazing. And then the slaw. So we want to get some good slaw on top here. It's all about the slaw. Okay, take that, because I'm going to take a picture with this, babe. Let me show you.
You have the camera?
Yeah, I just need your phone. Okay. There we go.
Nope, that's not it.
Let's see here.
It's all set for you.
Thank you, babe. Get that like that. Put that there. Put that there. I just need to clean it up just a little bit, which is why I have all these things that you were wondering about, babe.
Oh, that's why.
Because I knew I could use them to just tidy up the plate. All right, let me show y'all. Let me show you how this looks. So we have two burgers. These are the Burger Wars. We've got our smashed chicken burger with Alabama white sauce and barbecue Penzy's 3000 seasoning. And we have our traditional chicken burger. This is chicken too, chicken burger with my dry rub mixed inside with Alabama white sauce slaw on top with a little bit of that slaw with that Alabama white sauce mayo on both. So let me go get a quick pick of that. Which one do you think you're gonna like better, Hubs?
The smash burger actually looked really, really great.
It does. That cheese. I mean, you know, you can't go wrong with that cheese, right?
That's right. So Amy is going to be drinking a Peroni, and I'm going to be drinking a Tonwood Fuego, which is one of my favorite local
That's right.
beers.
You are a Fuego fan.
I'm a Fuego fan. So Tonwood is the brewery's name. And where is it? Right down in...
Yeah, where is it located?
It's in southern New Jersey. I'm just trying to... I can't read anything. Bear with me. I should know this.
Thank you, babe. I just needed to...
I can't remember where it is.
Want to make sure everything...
It's in New Jersey. Let's just leave it at that.
That's good. That's good. All right.
It's one of my favorite beers.
Oh, I'm very excited. Very excited for this. And of course, we have our salad. Let's put this... I'm going to put this over here.
Okay.
We have our table all set already for dinner because we go right from here to dinner.
That is an impressive looking
First, I want to
plate.
get a little bit of salad. Let's see. And
I have a fork here.
And I'm just going to try to toss it, though. Let's try to toss the salad. There we go. Because I had squirted everything, but I didn't really toss it because it looked too pretty. There we go. Just want to taste the salad. Watermelon, cucumber, feta, a little bit of white onion, lemon juice, olive oil, basil. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's try that. Oh, we need forks. And then we'll try the burgers.
I have a fork.
Do you have a fork?
I do.
Okay. We'll try these burgers. All right. I'm going to try to get the perfect bite of the salad, some of each. I didn't get an onion, but oh well. That's pretty perfect. I mean, you can make it like an appetizer where you put that in a toothpick.
That's pretty good.
The saltiness from the feta just complements that so well. Okay, so now we're going to be cutting. Now that I've taken the pictures, we can cut these little guys. Use this. Oh, I have my knife. Let's not dirty another knife. Hubs is appreciative if I can actually save something else from being washed. Okay. Oh. Let's see if this doesn't make too much.
Which one do you
of a
think you're
mess.
going to like best?
Well, I think the other one is going to be juicier, like the traditional, because I make a good traditional one. I think it's going to be juicier. I just need to see how much the chicken dries out, so to speak,
On the
smash. That's my main concern with the smash, was the texture. So I'm going to try the smash first.
Okay, I want to try the other one first.
No, can we try the same ones
Okay.
first? Yeah, thank you. Just show you.
Oh, I don't know, man. Look at
Look
that.
at that.
There's,
Look at that.
there's all kinds of juice coming out of
Oh my
that.
gosh. And the cheese.
That's going to be hard to beat.
That doesn't suck. Okay, one more bite because we want to save our dinner. I'm going to put this back on my plate after.
I'm not even going to have another
Okay,
plate
let's
right
put
now.
our plates over here then.
We can.
No,
okay.
just, okay, well, you can do that. That's fine. Let me rinse my hands and let's give the other one. Oh, y'all, these are good. And you can use whatever barbecue seasoning you have. And by the way, the smash burger would be good with the homemade dry rub down there too. I just kind of wanted to show difference. I'll take the smaller one. Okay, let me show you this.
I have to go clean up since I drop stuff on the way.
You drop stuff. So there's, whoopsie, double droppage there. There's our other one. Oh, I'm dropping stuff too.
Oh, boy.
Oh, but I'm touching there. It's so juicy. It's cooked but juicy. I'll wait for you. Ready?
Whoop. Okay.
Okay.
Wow, that's really good too.
I will say, it's hard because they're different and they're both excellent. But you know what I would do to make that one even better? I would use my dry rub. The dry rub that's below is so good. That brown sugar and the different spices in there.
So what's your favorite?
I would say it's a tie because I loved everything about the smash and the cheese and the onions and the, and the meat with the smash burger, but I like the seasoning better here. So I love the seasoning. I love the slaw. You could put slaw on the smash burger, but it ends up being a lot of stuff happening.
You have to pick one. Pick one.
No, we didn't say that. They could tie. I said they could tie.
I know, but you have to. I'm
Nope.
changing the rules.
How about you?
They're
The
both
seasoning's
great.
so good here.
They're both great, but I think I would choose the smash, which is I'm sure you're somewhat surprised on.
No, the smash turned out, I was a little worried about the smash being dry.
It's
The
not.
smash turned out great.
Yeah, it's not at all.
Turned out great. And what's nice about the smash burger, so one of the fears people have with chicken burgers and turkey burgers is worrying that they don't cook it enough. So a smash, you're not going to have any question because you know it's thin, it's going to get cooked enough. And again, you can use a thermometer, but I like the seasoning on this one. I love Penzy's, and I do love that seasoning, but, oh, we're splitting water. But once I made that dry rub last year, it just was so good. So that's what I would do to elevate. I bet you my smash burger would be the winner if I used my own dry rub. That would be my guess. All right, so friends, this was fun. Highly recommend. Again, this could be done on a grill. The only thing you need, could we just turn that off for the rest of this? The only thing we need, if you have a traditional grill, is you do need some sort of flat surface. There's lots on the market. There's griddles that you can put on there, carbon steel, although I've heard carbon steel kind of shifts and warps a little bit, but cast iron, just make sure it doesn't have any grill like marks. You want it to be flat. But yeah, I thought, please do not turn the water on.
I'm not going to.
I love that he cleans my dishes, but So yes, these were delicious. The watermelon salad was delicious. The slaw is delicious. It's all good. And at the end of the day, you could also just grill a piece of chicken and be great. So coming up next week on Friday, I'm having a Friday stream, and it's going to be the French influence poisson, which is fish in French. And Edith, I know you were looking for some more fish recipes. So coming up tomorrow or Tuesday, I'm going to be getting the choices out there on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter of the 3 different fish dishes, and you get to vote. And I will take the most. I'll take the votes on all of the accounts to see which one wins. So make sure you vote. And I wish you all a cooler week. I hope you all have a cooler week. But Edith and DS and Barb, Greg, I didn't even see you were there. I'm so sorry, Greg. Thank you so much for coming on. But great seeing you guys. Have a great week ahead. Stay cool. And until we eat again, thank you all.
See ya.
Have a good Sunday.